Because the philosophy always was, you know, if you get to know the river, you're going to love the river, and if you love the river, you're going to want to protect the river, and that's kind of what has embodied the whole idea of these river trips.
So we're at Alum Bluff. We're going to be along the bluff for a while, and then pretty soon we'll start seeing the bluffs of Bristol. There's actually more bluffs up ahead, so it's a really neat section. We're going to stop at Bristol. It's a very sharp cut into the river at the boat landing. So we're going to go up there and stop. The Women's Club of Calhoun County is going to meet us. Do they have snacks or something? Or?
Yes.
Oh, so
she's got it now.
You are motivated by food.
she's got it. So we got food. So we got an hour to burn off some of that breakfast, and then you'll have more food.
Oh my God!
There's lots of sandbars after that. We'll be stopping about every hour for a swim after that. We are camping across from the park at Estiffunulga, and there should be a nice sandbar there. And we can paddle over for dinner. There's restrooms. Tommy Thompson. The slip and slide is going to be set up down into the river. So that's
Let me see.
All right, beginning of day 2. We had a nice relaxing morning this morning, gotten everything packed up, coffee and breakfast and whatnot, and about to paddle to Bristol, Florida, and have a little break there. That's going to be about an hour's paddle or so, and have a break, fill up on water, and then ease on. It's supposed to be another beautiful day, about 22 miles on the agenda, and then we'll be camping at Estiffunulga. I can't say it, I'm not a Floridian, but we're going to be camping across from another state park and then having dinner in the park. Another benefit of RiverTrek is that people like to feed you along the way, so who am I to say no to that? So they're gonna make us dinner tonight, which is very welcome, very appreciated. But right now, just kicking off this morning, paddling next to Alum Bluff, and just beautiful. This is not something you would generally see in Florida. Very unique.
I probably don't need to tell you why drilling 13,000 feet underground, either straight down or directionally, we all know it's a really bad idea for both the ecology and economy of our region. So that being said, we're trying to get more residents to be aware of it, particularly downstream communities. If we had some sort of catastrophic event, Port St. Joe, Apalachicola Bay, all of these are areas that we do not want petroleum running loose in. The other
Just stopped in Bristol, so they had restrooms and water, so topped off on water. And got to listen to Georgia talk to us about some of the issues going on with the river. This is one of my favorite parts about RiverTrek, is just all the knowledge that comes along with it. But in for another warm day. I think we're going to intersperse a fair amount of breaks in there so it doesn't become too much. I think it's going to be just about perfect. Good times.
So someone took a photo of
They don't want any bread.
Do not feed the bears.
Did you see the hoof prints? But there's only like, it must have been a deer because they're too far apart from the hog. Unless it's really small.
He's thinking about it.
Moving right along. Had a nice relaxing lunch. Hung out in the shade for a little bit and then went and soaked in the river. Nice and cool. So we're pressing on now. We're gonna potentially have one more rest break before we get to our campsite for the night. About I think 8 miles is what I heard. Sounds about right. So we'll see. Absolutely beautiful day. So it's been almost to the day, 1 year since Hurricane Michael hit this area. When it hit, they classified it as a Category 4, but actually, after they got all of the information in after the storm, it was designated a Category 5 hurricane. So it's been interesting to see the effects of Michael as we've made our way down the river so far. Some effects on man-made structures and boats. But just like the ranger said yesterday, the trees, it is noticeable where there are lots of open areas that you wouldn't necessarily expect to be open. You'd expect to see trees there. He said there were 50% loss of canopy in Torrey State Park alone. So it'll be interesting to see how the forest builds itself back up.
Yeah, he comes towards me with this mad look. He's like, he's coming towards me, and I'm yelling, "Stand up! Stand up!" And he goes, oh. I knew if he grabbed
We are almost there. We're in the home stretch. There's a sandbar just past the landing for the park. We set up camp there and then shuttle over to the park, and there's beer and tacos for dinner. It's gonna probably be in that order, but pretty stoked. Can't go wrong with beer and tacos, especially after a long day of paddling out freaking standing. Good times.
shells full of just these putrid dead fish. And yeah, so these are largely herbivorous turtles that live in the rivers, and so they're gleaning a lot of algae off of logs or eating emergent vegetation. Like the bark of an oak tree, gray and black, real camouflage. And so this is a big adult. This is as big as a scarlet king snake gets. Seeing one above 18 inches is very uncommon, and he's about 15, 16 maybe. The biggest difference between this and the coral snake is the sequence of the red, black, and yellow bands. So on a coral snake, the red and the yellow bands touch each other. You know, the cottonmouths have a horrible reputation for being mean, but I feel it's completely undeserved. They have that famous display when you mess with them. See if I can get him to do it. Where he'll gate.
First day of work. First day of work. You could wrestle an alligator.
So, and I had a little fear of snakes. Fear of snakes is spread down the family line. You know, you're walking with your parents when you're 3 years old, and they go, oh! You know, then you feel that fear, and you go, oh, snake!